Hello guys. So today we're gonna talk about Trump phone. Trump, it's going to roll out a Trump mobile plan. So the mobile plan, it's $47, $47.45 per month, and the plan includes unlimited minutes, text, and data, and as well as roadside assistance and telehealth and the pharmacy benefits. I'm not sure if that 47.45 is going to cover the extra telehealth service. It's probably more like insurance, right? So if you have the Trump mobile service, and if you need to see a doctor online, and if you need to get a prescription, the fee is probably going to be cheaper, right? Because the fact that you have this phone, this Trump mobile plan, um, it's and with the plan, you can purchase a phone. It's $499, the smartphone, and it's going to launch in September. So this phone, it's Android 15, and guess where this phone will be made. You guys can take a guess. Most likely, it's going to be made outside of the United States. Uh, many couple years ago, I did a TikTok, English version of TikTok, and I was talking about how manufacturing returning to the United States is impossible. Many people got really angry. They were pissed off. uh, Till today, I still hold the same opinion. Uh, it's impossible, right? It's impossible because number one, many of the jobs that foreign people are holding to make the products, if they're back in the United States, I don't think the people here would even want to work in those kind of job. And recently, you see the ICE, right? They have been capturing immigrants everywhere at the Home Depot, at the car wash. I don't think I don't think that's right because those people, maybe granted, some people maybe they have illegal status, but those are working people. They those jobs they work on. I don't think most ordinary Americans would want those jobs. For example, the people that are the ICE trying to capture at the Home Depot, most of them are working on home remodeling jobs. That's a hard job. I wouldn't even want to work on those jobs. So a couple years ago, I remodeled my house and I remodeled my kitchen, and and most people, let's face it, right? Most people that's working on the construction are Hispanic people, right? People from South America. And also, I have also seen people, ICE, capturing people at the car wash. Who, which American people you think would be willing to work at the car wash? No, right? Nobody would work on that job. Uh, at the same time, we have all these homeless people that are Americans. They do not even want to work, right? They would rather be homeless instead of working. So let's come back to this Trump plan. Um, so their top competitors, right? They are Verizon, um, they are T-Mobile. This if you just solely looking at the price, the Trump mobile plan is definitely not compatible. For example, I have T-Mobile, and because I'm a veteran, so I have a veteran. I think I forgot the name of the plan. It's called a Heroes Plan or something. So I have a deep promotion. I have a deep discount because I have this military plan. I think I have about 10 lines. I have multiple phones for my family members, and I have the watch line. I have the line for the tablet. I also have the internet, and I only pay like around 150. But now the price has increased. But in the beginning, I only paid $150. So this $47 for one line, that definitely wouldn't work for me. And for some of you that haven't watched what's going on, why is the price 47, right? 47 plus change, 47, 45. Because Trump, in his second term, which is the current term, he is the 47th president. That's why it's $47.45. My hair looks terrible today. That's not a cheap plan. But for the people that love Trump, I don't think they would mind that price point, right? Because with the phone, it actually looks pretty nice. It looks like a gold bar, and it's $499. It's not an expensive phone, but given a lot of the competitors, for example, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, if you switch to their company, you get the phone for free, iPhone, right? So most people that are not a Trump fan probably would not enroll into this Trump mobile plan. And the phone, I look at the specification for the phone. It's Android 15, and it features a 6.8-inch AMOLED screen with a 16 megapixel selfie camera. And other specs include 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage, as well as a 50 megapixel main camera. So I guess there's not much to talk about the Trump plan. I mean, the mobile plan. Let's talk about the phone, right? I think this is probably more interesting because recently I'm actually listening to a book. It's talking about Foxconn. For many of the people that you probably are not aware of Foxconn, I'm going to talk about it briefly. Pretty much almost all the electronics that you have been using for the past 10 years is probably made by Foxconn. Okay. The Chinese name for it is Honghai Precision. And almost all the iPhones are made by Foxconn. So the company was actually so why did I say it's impossible for an iPhone to be made for the manufacturer to come back to the United States? Let me do a comparison on the cost. If a phone is made in the United States versus if a phone is made in outside of the United States. Okay, so right now for an iPhone, the labor cost per unit is $3.60 if it's made by Foxconn in China, and if it had been made in the United States, the labor cost of each iPhone would be $30. Why? Just look at it today, right? In California, they just recently signed the minimum wage for the fast food restaurant workers. I think if the fast food restaurant has like I forgot the number of franchises, maybe 50 or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. So if the franchise restaurant has a franchise locations, I think more than a certain number, then there is a minimum wage. And even nowadays, even a worker working in a fast food restaurant make about $4,000 a month. Then how do you expect the iPhone to be cheap? It's impossible, right? So I did an assumption with ChatGPT. So the labor, if it's made right now with Foxconn, the labor is $360 per iPhone in China, and if it's made in California, it would be $30 labor cost per unit, and the final assembly cost would be $14 with Foxconn in China, and it would be $50 in the United States in California, and the overhead and utilities would be $2 in China with Foxconn, and in California would be $5. Taxes and regulatory costs in China is 50 cents. In California, it would be $3. And the shipping and the logistics, that's the only thing that California has an advantage, obviously, right? You don't have to ship it from China. So for Foxconn, it's $1, and for California, it's 10 cents. Total estimated cost for an iPhone to be made in China with Foxconn is $20.10. If it's made in California, it's $88. So that goes to show you, why it's kind of impossible to have manufacturers to come back to the United States. This is just one example. So how did the Foxconn get started? Foxconn initially started in Taiwan, and then later on it moved into China. In 1974, it was started in Taipei. And in 1988, it opened the first factory in Shenzhen, China. When this factory, the owner, by the way, his name is Guo Taiming, Terry Guo, right? Terry Guo. So at the time, around 1988, when they opened factory in China, the labor cost in Taiwan was already 2,500 yuan, and in China at that time, when Foxconn went to China, Shenzhen, it was only $500, 500 yuan. How much is 500 yuan in today's money in US dollars? It's about $70 US. So that's the labor cost. So today, the same company, Foxconn, according to 2025, they have about 800,000 employees, almost 1 million employees. And back then, in 1988, they started growing, right? And they started working for other major brands. And eventually they started, making products for all the major electronic brands that you can see, like all the Japanese brands, like all the video games that you're playing, obviously all the phones, and most of the computers. The reason the name is called Foxconn is that the con means connection, because in the computer, from the motherboard, from all the plugins, they need the connection. So that's what Foxconn make. They make those. That's one of their major products. I think right now they have about 1 million employees. So by 2012, by 2011, their employee in China is already exceeded 1 million people, 1 million employee. And by 2012, this company alone, Foxconn alone, produces 40% of the entire global consumer electronics. So pretty much, this company, Foxconn, they make everything that has to do with electronics. You name it, right? Computer, video games, phone, any type of electronics that you see, that you use in the United States, is most likely made by this company. And a couple months ago, I read the news. It's very interesting. There is a journalist, I forgot which state she lives in, and she made a challenge to not use a product from China for 1 year, and she gave up because literally everything is made in China. So after we talk about here, you're probably gonna say, "Oh, are you pro-China? Are you anti-American?" No. So I actually started high school here in the United States. Of course, I was born in China, and I was actually in the military. I was in the U.S. Army. I was infantry, and people always ask me, "Oh, if the U.S. and China fight, what would you do?" I would always say, China is my mother, the United States is my father. So let's come back to Foxconn. By 2022, Foxconn revenue reached 6.6 trillion. Okay, and that's a 214 billion in US dollars. by 2025, right now, it's gonna forecast revenue, right? The forecast revenue is gonna be 234 billion. Okay, in 2025 at the end of the year. It's actually opened a new Apple campus in India, and the AI server. Okay, so so a lot of you guys, you're probably gonna argue with me. Why is it impossible, to have something made in America? Like I said earlier, most people in America would not even want to work in those kind of jobs, and there's different type of labor law, and most of the practice in Asia would be considered illegal in the United States. Let me see, how long did I talk for? 15 minutes. Okay. So the product category that Foxconn makes, mobile devices, gaming consoles, like I said earlier, right? And computer hardware, displays, TVs, automobile, even automobile parts, EV parts, semiconductors, AI servers. So some of the key clients, right? Pretty much all the major companies, tech giants, right? Apple, Intel, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Cisco, Dell, HP. Mobile brands, BlackBerry, Nokia, Xiaomi, Google Pixel, obviously Apple. Gaming, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. Automotive, Geely, that's a Chinese auto brand. Fiat, Chrysler, Mitsubishi. AI partners, Nvidia, Amazon. So that's it for today's video. So I just want to share with you the news. Trump's new phones coming out, the new phone price coming out, and why I believe manufacturer returning to United States is impossible. And also, let me just give you another example. China is more like a totalitarian, it's not a democratic country like the United States, right? Of course, we want the freedom, and it's good, right? But of course, every country, every person has the plus and minuses. For example, I remember I checked. Remember that California was going to build a high-speed railway from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. I forgot how much. What's the name? Let me do a check. Cost of planning of high-speed rail from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. So basically, what's going on is the cost of planning, just doing study and planning, that United States already spent on this high-speed rail from Los Angeles to Las Vegas has already exceeded 22 billion, 23 billion. Okay. That was just planning, phase one. So right now, the spending summary table, let me look at it. So California HSR 1, phase one total spending 22.9 billion. Let me see, baseline was so because initially, let me see, brightline was so initially California was building this high-speed rail, but later on, obviously, didn't work out. So Brightline took over. Brightline West took over. Brightline also built the high-speed rail in Florida. So the total right now, Brightline took over. So the first segment is from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga. Total project cost estimate 12 billion. Federal grant received 3 billion from US DOT. Additional bond 2.5 billion. Spending breakdown. 5.5 billion has been committed and funded grant plus bond. Construction officially began on April 2024. And California high-speed rail there's another one that's from San Francisco to Los Angeles via Central Valley. Initial operating segment Merced to Bakersfield, 119 miles. Spending so far 11 billion. Total phase one estimate from San Francisco to Los Angeles current estimate 106 billion. So spending summary, California HSR 1 phase 1 already spent 23 million. So basically what had happened was that the money that California spent on planning for this high-speed rail project is actually the same amount of money that China spent to build the whole railway, already finished building. So let me see. So build high-speed rail cost from Beijing to Tianjin in USD. So the total project cost, initial budget, final construction, 2 billion. Okay, the total cost is 2 billion. Okay, let me see. It's 115 kilometers. Initial budget 1.48 billion. Final cost 2.3 billion. Per unit cost, per kilometer unit cost, it's 22 million. So let me compare that with let me compare that. The comparison is probably going to be astonishing. The difference is probably going to be astonishing. So Beijing to Tianjin. By the way, the Beijing to Tianjin, the high-speed rail, that's already completed. So pretty much in China, pretty much all the major cities in China are already connected by high-speed rail, and the average speed is about 350 kilometers per hour. Okay, just to give you what's the difference. So I grew up in central China in Hubei. Back then, for me going from Hubei to Guangzhou, it took with the slow train, it took about, I think, 14 hours. And later on, for the same trip, I took the same trip with the high-speed rail only takes 4 hours. So so for the route, Beijing to Tianjin was 115 kilometer, and brightline west from Vegas to basically Los Angeles is 351 kilometers. The total project cost, Beijing to Tianjin, is 2.3 billion, and the brightline west was 12 billion. That's 6 times. And the cost per kilometer, the China cost was 22 million per kilometer, and the brightline Vegas cost was 34 million per kilometer. Funding source, okay, yeah. So obviously, the two countries are very different, but it just show you the different government have different plus and minus. But of course, for me personally, I would not forgo any freedom for convenience. But I'm just saying that when the government controls everything, they can do everything much faster and more economically efficient. So that's it, I guess. I'll talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, you can leave a comment, and if you follow my channel and share the channel, and turn on your bell, okay? And I talk to you guys next time.